So today I will cover the TCS interview question, right? So in basically we cover all the they ask basically JavaScript and Angular questions. So for the 4 year of experience for front end developer, so that profile I recruit. So I clear that round, and I have shared with you my like experience, right? How you tackle the in the interview, right? How you proceed, how the concept, right, how the JavaScript work. So I would like to clear all your doubt, right? You can ask anything regarding front end development, right? So I have experience in Angular and React and JavaScript, more than 6 year of experience. So you can ask anything in the comment, right? So this is a real time interview question. uh, those are asked in the TCS interview like procedure, right? So I would like to share with that with the coding machine round question. So if you prepare, right, so there is higher chances you getting selected in the TCS, right? So please subscribe and like and comment that channel, right? So I get motivation from you guys, right? So please share as possible as. So let's proceed with the question number one, right? So the question number one is they basically ask, right? So there is function for function, right? Return a message, right? Hello, yeah, right? So they ask what type of the for, right? So for that function, right? And so and what type of the for, right? And what the type of the message, right? So you can see, right, that is a function, right? So how you write in the object in JavaScript, right, like this, right? So what was the type of the for function, right? That is object type, right? And what was the for is basically a function, right? So type of the for is function. And what was that for that message, right? So for that message, if you inherit, right, so it will give you the string, right? Because in hello all this string, right? So answer is this, right? So you can verify uh, it in online compiler, right? So I open that online compiler. Let's open JavaScript compiler. Let's run, right, object function and string, right? So you can verify your answer here, right? So let's yeah, so that is output for that function also is one. I explain you. So that is a basically if function, right? If function, what they do, right? So the value of x is equal to 1, right? And return the value y is equal to 2. So here console.log is equal to x, right? So output is 1. Let's run that also. Right, up to it is 1, right? So this is simple straightforward question, right? So and here you can see here is count initially, right? In that object we do increment decrement function, right? And here we call that increment and decrement, right? So in the increment arrow function, right, so it will not bound to be object, right? It will not bound to be object increment, right? So it will directly modify. So let's say count initially is 0, right? So if you do count plus plus and count plus plus, hmm, so 0 to 1 it become 1, right? And then after you can decrement, right? So 1 and value goes 1, and if you count minus minus, right? So it will become 0. So here the final output is 0. That is a straightforward question. You need to understand that concept first, right? Let's run. output is 0. And the third question is they basically give the how you can implement bind custom function, right? So they provide you the that question, right? Here you can put your name, anything, right? So basically you need to run that function into the compiler, right? And what was the issue you need to fix, right? So while the running that code, right, so you get some error, right? Console dot error, right? So what do we do here, right? We basically bind, like making a custom bind function, right? So here you can see how we make a prototype of this, right? Argument of this, right? And after that new argument we pass the return of the function, right? And after we make second greeting and pronunciation, right? And so you need to understand the syntax error, right? So syntax error, how you fix syntax error, right? In that console, right? So while the consoling that dollar into that function, right? So you need to make backtick comma, right? Under the backtick comma, right? Then you fix that syntax error, right? So you need to know all the concept, right? How the dollar sign work, right? Then it will give you hello Neeraj output, right? One second. And yeah, there is two issue you can see, right? uh there is one more issue is there, you need to find, right? There is, you can see right here. So they give you error code, right? You need to fix that code. So they test also, right? The output is hello Neeraj, right? So you need to understand the concept and how you fix that error, right? They also check that part. And third question is this, right? This is very good question. It will ask many interview, right? Concept, that concept. So what was the output, right? So that that work as a micro task queue, right? So how, what was the precedent for that, right? First precedent is always is console, right? In micro task queue, right? So it will print one first, right? And after the console is 4, right? So output is 4, 1 and 4, right? And in both, right, so promises has higher precedent, so it will print 3, right? And last is 2, right? Set amount is lower precedent, so output would be 1, 4, 3 and 2, right? So let's run. 1, 4, 3 and 2, right? So you need to know all the concept. Let's go to next question, right? So how this prototype chaining is work, right? So you can see here I make a function. This doesn't name, right? So let's check the output for that function, right? So in the step one explain you the step one, John, right? So the person the new person is John, right? So John, so that function here, right? New John, right? And if that this dot create one, right? This line, right? It will inherit from the John, right? Jan, John, right? And hello, let's say, right? So hello, say, right? So hello, that says not found, right? Not found Jan. So it look call John dot hello, right? Console dot log name, right? So output would be first output. It will call that hello part, hello, right? And then yeah, this prototype is called this called, right? Then this person John, right? Call. Then it will print John in the next name John, right? So output is this, right? Let's run that, right? So you can understand what was the output, right? John. Hello, John, right? So same output they will print, huh? So here you can they ask multiple thing, right? You understood that point, right? Structured clone and how structured clone work, have deep copy and shallow copy, right? So they ask the question is include how the structure clone and context projection is work. Right? So here we make three things, right? T header, body, footer, right? At multiple slot. Here the CSS thing is work, right? So here the content position is right, footer and header thing, right? So so how you define that part, right? You need to write that down, right? So the example of the ng content, right? So here ng content you define the slot, right? Header, body, content, right? So it will work like this. So we go to next question. So what benefit of track by and for avoid the unnecessary DOM, right? Rendering by tracking, identify the zone lays, right? So this is method of improving like performance, right? Debouncing RxJS, right? So you can see the example, right? Track by you can prepare by track by the example. So I give you the example also here, right? How you use track by ID, right? Track by instead of making them, right, directly track by the ID, right? So let's say we use item 1 and 2, right? Updating the item, right? So you can track by the ID directly, right? And there is one more method, right? Optimization thing, right? For zoneless, right? So in the zoneless angular, right, configuration, uh, disable zone.js, right? So you need to disable zone.js, right? Comment out the remove the line, and in the dynamic perform ng zone no, right? So you need to manually trigger that, right? Increment, decrement, that counter you can use, right? Change detection method. So what will the benefit of that? So benefit of that, what was the benefit of that? Zone detection, removing, right? Debouncing. So while searching, you can use the debouncing concept, right, to optimize the performance, right? So I give you the example also. You can implement the debouncing time, right? Search the value query while the searching, right? You can implement that into the form, right? So debouncing was ensuring input proceeding the 30 minutes inactive, reducing the handle the overhead, right? How you create the custom angular pipe format like 1k and 1 millisecond, right? So I give you the example how you create the custom pipe format, right? So here the code is also that, right? You need to make like this, right? So this kind of question they ask, right? So you need to know how you create. For the time issue, right, I directly write the all the changes, right, all the code. So you can use that code while explaining, right? How you need to know like how you make the custom pipe, right? So explanation is that, right, it will get an n equal, right, dividable by the fixed suffix, right, small return value. So you need to know how you declare the custom pipe and how you use, right? And also the majorly asked question is implement state management, right, angular, right? So you need to know how you create the state service, right? In the service you can define that thing, right? in the constructor's initial subject you can define, right? So in the gate state, what was the set state, right? How you define that set state, get state, and how you use that state service into app service, right? The initial was the count, right? Initial was the initial state, and app service, how you use that state. So how you manage the state, right? So this you will be use the big project, right? Like a Flipkart, this kind of project they use state management concept, right? So you can see how we declare, right? And they also ask register the state management, right? So you need to know how you can register, right? This is the code, right? So what was the advantage of the state management? So there is a store procedure, right? So this kind of concept they ask, right? No need to heavy library and ngrx, right? So update the state directly using rxjx, right? Is scalable, it can handle multiple state at the same structure, right? So this is a benefit of that state management, right? So display the count, right? How they manage, right? Current state. So they, you can see the the task is how they decrease, right? You directly use the scale service, right? State, right? So that is the advantage of the uh, state management, right? So feel free connect with me, right? So this is, they ask, and this is very important question I covered, right? You can know how you write the services, this kind of thing, right? Promises, how you write the state. You need to know observer, how observer work, how the store and procedure work, right? So this kind of thing you can prepare, right? Thank you guys, please like and subscribe that channel, so I get confidence and so I more relevant question.